I saw him, I completely fell in love. I mean, he's just so tiny and cute and small. Turbo came into the vet clinic I used to work at. He was 6 weeks old. The lady basically could not keep him. The rest of the litter mates were not being friendly with Turbo, just kind of ganging up on him. The first 2 weeks, I was just trying to get him to scoot along and move himself forward. I used to take little rice pieces and coax him up so that he would build the back leg strength. A lot of the cart companies didn't fit little dogs in carts until they were 6 to 8 months old. But I wasn't willing to wait. He needed to learn very early on. So that's what made me create some of the first carts. Turbo's first cart was made out of a helicopter toy. We just tried different DIY carts. It was kind of, let's just see what works. Because he is so hard-headed, he just sat and looked at me like, what are we doing here? Turbo's story went viral almost overnight. It caught the attention of an aerospace engineer in San Diego, and he basically took it upon himself to create the design, throw some rollerblade wheels on it, and ship it out to us. He got the concept, but he never ran. Come on, Turbo. It was almost dark. I brought out my other dog, which I never thought to do. He just took off and went.
Oh boy!
He really just wanted to push, go, and move. Nothing has stopped him. Now, when you put him in his car, he just takes off. It's just effortless for him. He will do anything another dog will do. If he wants to jump on the couch, he jumps on the couch. He's got the biggest personality I think I've ever seen out of a dog. He'll put me in my place sometimes when he doesn't like what I'm doing. They were inseparable in the beginning. It was like they just knew each other was different.
What are you two doing?
And they just took to each other. Two-legged tug of war is one of the cutest things on the face of the earth.
Girl, come on.
Turbo's inspiring every single day. He was this tiny little chihuahua that could have been euthanized. Now, you almost forget that he's two-legged.
When I would pick him up, he would roll like a crocodile roll in my hand. I was fostering a pregnant mom. Van Gogh was the first puppy born, and it didn't take long to figure out he was missing an ear. He had issues from the get-go. He was the runt, so he was getting knocked off. He couldn't hang in there. And the next day he lost weight, which is never a good sign, especially for a small, delicate puppy. Actually, this is hard to talk about without crying, but I was afraid to go in the room in the morning. Afraid that he would be gone. I would have to bottle feed him like 4 times a day, 5 times a day. After about 2.5 weeks or so, he perked up and he started to show some interest. He couldn't walk. He would kind of roll on the ground. It was hard for him to figure it out. When he started to get more strength in his legs, then it became him being able to stand up on his front legs. Come on, Ringo. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. And then when his back legs started to kick in there, he would just move in reverse. Well, you know how to back up, sir. Whoa. Look at you standing up. Look. Whoops. Okay, in reverse. And then shortly after that, he figured out how to go forward. You can do it. Come on. Oh, bless you. He figured it out. It was like he was conquering things that other puppies don't have to deal with. It was awesome. And he started acting like a real puppy. It was great to see him start to be able to walk, but he was a little snuggle bunny. Would hold him up and he would just snuffle in there and give me kisses. Then I started to introduce Van Gogh to my dogs. He was great. He was the size of a hamster. And one of my dogs is a mini Aussie who just adores puppies. And she was just like a big sister to him, really close. He did not want to be away from the dogs. He absolutely loves running with the dogs, running with the pack, and being a part of it. I knew it from the get-go. I just said to myself, you know, if he survived, he wasn't going anywhere. Who's going to take care of him better than me?
They're practicing their stomping. They run around and they stomp, and then their little butts come up. It's like a break, you know. You break, woo, and everything goes up. The family had found these babies inside of a mulch pile, so animal control calls me. It's not common for us in Texas to get skunks to rehab. People don't like skunks. They're afraid of them. So it was really different for me. You picture them with the big fluffy tails where they're hairless practically. So I honestly did not know how well they were going to be because they were pretty bad when I got them. That first week, it was a lot about learning for me. Once I realized they're starting to look better, they're gaining weight, they love their veggies, they love their fruit. They face first in there. They literally dive into their food bowl. They make sounds. They were walking pretty good by the second week I had them. Then when they started getting their little buzz, that's when their personalities started to come out. They all had their own personalities. The male, he was the instigator, he was the troublemaker, he was the food hog. And the two girls, one of them was really sweet. She just didn't have a care in the world. The other girl was very curious. But I think for the three of them, they enjoyed chasing each other. So if one would go here, the other two would follow. And if I ran around the room, they ran around and they would chase me. You know how ducks follow mom all the time. Skunks are the same way. They do not venture far from mom. But as they get older and bigger, I thought they would actually just be spraying all the time. And I just thought, oh my gosh, my house is going to smell like skunk all the time. But these babies knew me as mom for such a long period of time. I have not gotten sprayed. In the wild, you know, they stomp to warn you. They won't spray you because it takes almost 2 weeks for them to refill their defense system. And by the time they got outside, they were really good at the stomping. They get better body control. It's better coordination. That's when I needed to start training them because I'm a mom, so it's really up to me to prepare them to be wild skunks. So I first started with a sandbox. Dig little holes and hide bugs so that they can learn to use their nose to find their food. And that was touch and go for a while because they literally could not find their worms. Eventually, as they got bigger and they understood that concept, they wanted out of the enclosure, they were ready to go. Of all the animals I rehoused, they were the easiest. I loved everything about that experience.
Our little Telesto has wobbly cat syndrome.
It's a nice soft landing.
Telesto isn't the only wobbler. Narvi also has a little pep in her step. The wobbliness is definitely more apparent now that they're moving around more. It's understandable to look at kittens with CH and initially feel sorry for them, but remember, they don't know they're different. Both she and Telesto will get more coordinated as they get older. Narvi does a pretty good job of holding her head up. Once it's time to move, though, she gets a little roll.
You gotta use your back legs too. There you